Anyone here to speak on that subject? All right, at this time, we can hear mayor and council comments. Any comments on the? Sure. We've been commenting on it. Okay, well, then at this time, we're going to close the hearing for the FY14 tax rate. Is there a motion? Well, I guess we'll just keep the record open for 10 years. I don't think, 10 years, 10 days.
Next week.
Okay, so you have until next Monday at 4:00 p.m. to submit any comments. All you YouTube viewers and Channel 25 viewers out there who want to submit comments on the FY14 tax rate. And at this time, we'll conclude the hearing on the FY14 tax rate and begin the hearing on the FY14 budget. Please, Ms. Berker, please take it away.
Okay. The fiscal year 14 proposed budget was submitted to Mayor and Council on March 31st. Since then, a number of budget work session hearings have been held to review content contained within the budget workbook. The required notice of public meeting that was to be held tonight was published in the paper in all required places, as well as on the city's website. The proposed budget has a total combined uses of funds of $133,145,831. Later this evening, we will introduce an ordinance to approve the budget as presented. Next Tuesday, approval of that ordinance will take place. Between now and next Tuesday, amendments to the proposed budget can be made. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to allow public time to make comments or suggestions regarding any of the information contained in that budget document.
Thank you. We have 3 people signed up to speak on the FY14 budget. First up is Ms. Nancy Smith. Please come forward to the podium.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time tonight. My name is Nancy Smith. I'm here with Matt Thompson, who is our branch manager of our Hagerstown Western branch of the Maryland Food Bank. And my name, of course, is Nancy Smith. I do the government relations piece for the food bank. And I wanted to give you some just brief history of the food bank and how we fit into the food resources. The Maryland Food Bank, excuse me, was founded in 1979. We were the first food bank on the East Coast. We are a member of Feeding America, which is a national network of over 200 food banks. What we do is the Maryland Food Bank partners with manufacturers, wholesales, retailers, farmers, individuals to gather food that might otherwise go to waste. We also purchase items of high demand items such as cereal, peanut butter, tuna fish at wholesale and reduced rates. Our food is distributed between 600 partners throughout our western, eastern, and central locations. We have 3 facilities, one in Wacomico, Salisbury, that serves the Eastern Shore, one in Washington County, Hagerstown, and then the central is located in Baltimore County. In addition to our distribution through our network, the Maryland Food Bank operates outreach programs to reach populations, especially populations that have a risk of hunger, children, elderly, and the rural poor. Our school pantry program, which we initiated out here in our Hagerstown location, has we have 3 schools in Hagerstown that are participating in this program. This program is funded through private funds. And basically the way that the school pantry works is if a school sees a family struggling or a child that's in need, they can have the child's parents come in and volunteer at the school. These parents can do a vast task of a variety of things like sweep, paint, file, and in return, they get a couple of bags of food. Now, it's not a magic wand to end hunger, but it is a good Band-Aid. And this has been a huge success in Eastern Shore, in Central Maryland, and now in our Hagerstown. We also have a mobile food pantry. It delivers bulk items, and it delivers this food into rural areas. This is also funded through private funds, foundations, individuals. So this program is effective because transportation can be an issue for a lot of families. We serve about 500,000 people in our service area in the whole state. In Hagerstown, in 2012, we took over an organization that's named was Food Resources. We have tripled the staff. We have implemented software, network, transportation enhancements, and we are slated to add 2 or 3 more staff members by July. So we've tripled the staff. We've enhanced the operation. We're going to add additional office space to this location. So since 2008, the way that we measure how we effectively serve is we measure pounds going out the door. We have great software, great reports that we run, reports, and it tells us exactly who's getting what. Since 2008, our distribution has increased by 187%. Now, the people that we're dealing with now, a lot of the people are middle class. 44% are middle class and that do not get government assistance. They're just simply not making it, families that aren't making it. Could be layoffs, could be a job change. And those are the families that we're really targeting. The transition, since we've taken on food resources, has really gone seamless. We have, we have really made an impact. I submitted a proposal to Mr. Zimmerman requesting the city of Hagerstown for funds that will be totally restricted to Hagerstown, only in this jurisdiction. And it will help support our senior pantry. That it is our hope that we are going to open up a senior pantry in downtown Hagerstown. We have pending funding that we should be hearing about in about 2 months. And I think it's a nice addition to what we do. This senior pantry will be customized to the seniors. They have different diets. And we will open up the senior pantry with private funds to serve some of the seniors in this area. The food bank, like I said, we've been around for about 35 years. We have a 4-star rating in Charity Navigator. Our admin percent is less than 10%, which is unheard of today's standards in a nonprofit. We're a very conservative organization, and we're pleased that we are able to take over fold in food resources into our organization and our operation. We can serve, we probably will be serving the citizens of Hagerstown an increase for this year in the tune of, let's see, we've already distributed 864,000 pounds of food into Hagerstown, and we expect to even increase that more at around 1.5 million for our new fiscal year starting in July. So I'm asking, my submission is already in, and I'm asking the council members if you would please consider our request. I would be more than happy to give you updates. I love doing that to the local jurisdictions, of where the money went, who it went to, and how it was spent. So is there any questions?
Yes. Do you get funding from Salisbury, from Baltimore County, or any other jurisdiction?
Yes, we do.
Did you say 1.5 million pounds of food is what you're planning on distributing?
Well, now our year-end we have another month to go, is 865,000 pounds that just went into Hagerstown. And it's through our Farm to Food Bank program, where we distribute free produce out to our partners, our agencies that are members. We also have the governor's food grant that has come in, and it's a mobile pantry, which I have fact sheets that I'll hand out to the council members of specifically what programs that we do here. But yes, Baltimore County supports us, Baltimore City supports us, Wacomico Council supports us, and Salisbury City Council also supports us.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
At 13 food pantries here in the city.
Correct.
With that, does any of the food that you have from Maryland Resources, does it go to any of these pantries?
Yes.
Because these pantries are the ones that suffer, that do not have a lot.
Yes.
right? And,
Yes.
I mean, it has to be specifically clear because.
Oh, it will definitely be.
I want none of this food that especially the city
Mm-hmm.
has put money into going anywhere else.
Understandable. You know, it's funny because Salisbury's the same way. Wacomico, they want it in Wacomico County. However, Salisbury wants it into Salisbury.
Yes.
And Rick Pollack, we have a very good understanding. I go to Rick, and he knows that when I give him a report, he knows that that report is an absolute truth.
So, did I hear you correctly? The Maryland Food Bank supports all the local food pantries in some way or another?
Most of them, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
through the churches, through schools?
That
and
is
other-
correct.
Okay.
Could you have a list of the ones that you do support, please? Because I don't have that. I know which ones that we have, you know, that is there, you know, the 13 that I am saying. And
Yes.
as far as the schools, because I'm very much aware too that, you know, there is food that does go to the schools.
And I have this list right here
Okay,
and I'll leave with.
okay.
The school pantries, that we have 6 currently in Hagerstown. I'm sorry, 6 in Washington County. In Hagerstown, there are Antietam Academy, E. Russell Hicks, and Bester Elementary.
Okay, then with the others, as far as the local pantries. Oh, I have down here Grace United Methodist Church. Are you involved in any of that? Do you have, I mean, if you don't have the information now, it can be sent.
Yes. They are on West Church.
Yes, they
They are
are.
a member. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how about Lifehouse Bethel Assembly of God? That's on Wilson Boulevard?
Correct. 515 East Wilson.
Correct.
That is correct.
How
They are-
about Mount Hope Prison Ministries?
Yes.
The Family Care Center? That's on Walnut Street.
Oh,
North-
Family Care Center at 49 Walnut Street?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, the Adventist Community Service Center, that's located at 35 East Washington.
Where's that on this list? Oh, Acts 9, okay. Yes, 35 West Washington.
Sorry, Acts 9's up above, I'm
Yes.
sorry,
Yeah.
I'm reading underneath.
No problem, yes.
Okay, Bridge of Life,
Yes, on South Potomac?
Matthew 25:35,
Yes, on North Potomac.
yes, no,
Yes.
South Potomac,
Mm-hmm.
okay. New Hope Food
Yes.
Pantry,
On Summit Avenue?
okay, and Raven House Food Center,
No.
okay. That may be one that you don't know about. And honestly, I don't know how many of these, you know, have been in existence for how long. St. Mark's Lutheran Church,
St. Mark's is our biggest.
okay, and the Salvation Army,
Yes.
and Trinity Lutheran. That would be on
Yes.
Randolph. Okay, but the only one.
Trinity Lutheran Food Bank, is that on Randolph?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we do a backpack there too.
Okay, because the only one then that's not, as far as you going into, is the New Hope Food Pantry. And that's the one that's on.
And
It's-
we also do the food, Councilwoman, for this backpack program that serves
Yes.
500 and some odd
Correct,
kids.
and I
We
know
will
that.
continue to do that. I think there was speculation that maybe the food bank wasn't going to keep that program going. We have all intentions, let
Yeah.
me state, we have all intentions of keeping this backpack program going.
Yeah. Certainly with the need, it certainly
Absolutely.
should be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions from council members? Comments? Don?
Nancy, I'd like to, excuse me, I'd like to thank you for coming up here this evening. You came from Baltimore, so you traveled a long way. One of my basic philosophies in life is that we're a rich enough country that no one should be going hungry. Unless they want to go hungry, they shouldn't be going hungry. And we appreciate what the food bank does. I saw a lot of action with regard to the food bank in my previous job. And indeed, from a delegate, her name was Hattie Harrison, who was committed to this area in other ways in helping get Citicorp started. But she was also a major benefactor of yours in Annapolis, I know that.
Yes, she was.
And it's good to hear how much you are already into the Hagerstown community. And I know that if the city is willing to make a contribution, that it will energize you to be more into the Hagerstown community. And we appreciate that fact. And so thank you for being here. I was delighted to hear, too, that because of the change from the previous way it was done to the present way it's done, that you're going to be hiring a few people. And I might remind everybody that your headquarters is located in the city of Hagerstown.
Absolutely. And we've tripled our staff.
And so thank
Where's the
you.
headquarters at?
McGran, 220 McGran.
220 what?
McGran Court.
McGran.
Court.
That's a new one.
Well, I want to reiterate what Mr. Munson said, and thank you for coming up and for all the good work that you do. When you came to town last week and met with Councilmember Munson and I, you left us with some really great information about all the wonderful things the food bank is doing. And really what I'm struck by is the innovative ways that you're scrounging and, poking around in corners to get the resources to work with manufacturers, to work with farmers. There are just so many ways, and we're such a wasteful society that it's good to have resourceful folks. I think you mentioned something about Maryland being one of the biggest food banks. I know you mentioned it was the first, but I think in
About
terms
the
of
fourth.
in terms of how you do your work, I think you have demonstrated that it's pretty effective. So I want to thank you again for coming up, and I guess we'll invite Matt to come up because I know he signed up to speak as well. But
And if we weren't an honorable nonprofit, we would not have gotten a 4-star rating with Charity Navigator.
And I didn't.
No,
mean
no,
to allude
but
to
I
that.
like-
I just want to know.
I like
Okay.
bragging rights. And you know what? I understand your concern because you had the same concern that other council members down in Salisbury.
Right.
And they know that was the stickling point. And I assured them
Yeah.
that this will be restricted. We can do that with our system. And this money will help us operate, the school pantries, senior programs. I am committed to getting a senior pantry down here, downtown Hagerstown. And I can do this, and I will do this with private funds. And it'll be a success. But, I remember a lady told me, you know, I had met her when I started at the food bank 8 years ago. I had met her at a produce mobile pantry drop where we handed out produce. And her husband had gotten hit by a drunk driver. He lost his job. His job was outsourced. And she looked at me and she says, you know, you can have all the nice schools. You can have all the great roads. You can have the best hospitals. But if you can't feed your children, none of that means anything. And for some reason, that just stuck to me. And to look at her in her eyes, and it still gives me a little chills every time I think about it. We've never seen anything like this since 2008. And our distribution, most companies would love to have 187% uptick. We are the only nonprofit in the state of Maryland that wish we could go out of business. So we saw this coming. It is continued. But one thing I can say is that our donors have stuck with us. They really have, because everybody in this room has been affected by the economic downturn. They know somebody, it could be a family member. Everybody's been affected by this. And we are committed to helping and growing where there's need, especially out in the rural areas. Salisbury's in the same position because of the transportation effort. And they're having a rough time down there. But, you know, when government and nonprofits, the right nonprofits work together, I can assure you that the results are amazing. I've seen it time and time again. And I will give you my word that any funding that goes to the Maryland Food Bank Western Branch will be restricted and only restricted into the Hagerstown area. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. Mr. Matt Thompson.
I know Nancy has given you the big overview. I'm the manager
Matt,
here.
can you
for-
pull your microphone up a little bit, please?
Sure, is that better?
Thank you.
I know Nancy's given you the big overview. I won't take much time, but I'm the manager here in Hagerstown, and we work with Rob and Julie at St. Mark's. They're doing over 800 non-duplicated families a month right now at their doors. Matthew 25:35, Lifehouse, Normal, on and on and on. Everybody's seeing a significant increase, and most of them are reporting it's in seniors and the working poor. We're not seeing a significant increase in homeless. We're seeing average Joes, if you will. Most of our funders want the same thing, whether their specialty is kids, they want to make sure their funds are restricted to kids, whether it's seniors, geographically based, and with our software system, we have the capacity to do that. So again, for the sake of time, do you have any questions for me locally here?
What's your background, Matt?
How much time do we have? Degree in psychology. I've worked through both churches and nonprofits in the past. I've run my own construction company here in Washington County, so a pretty broad variety. You may have seen my face with Convoy of Hope.
Yep.
Back in, I think it was 2008, we launched the first one here. I also helped launch the one in Frederick County. As Nancy alluded to, when we put business, nonprofit, faith-based, government, when we all play in the same sandbox with the same goal, we're a lot more productive, and that's really what our focus is. So from us, if you ever want to come out and take a tour, please do. Give me a call. We'll walk you through, show you the software, how it works, show you our inventory, how it comes and goes, let you watch a truck pull out with a suspension squatting, and I'll show you the invoice, and you'll shake your head. We're really, please talk to our partners. Those 13 pantries, ask them. And they're all going to tell you in the last year they've seen significant increase, such that some of them can't take all the product we have for them. They're really, we've really done significantly more than we expected to this year, and we want to just make sure that we can keep up with their demand. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And one more person signed up to speak on the FY14 budget. Colin Coleman, please come forward.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Colin Coleman. I'm here representing Elizabethtown East, my neighborhood's first group. I'm basically just going to make a brief statement. During our last meeting, it was announced during the meeting that there is a budget line item for Invest Hagerstown, specifically regarding the residential assistance grant funds that may be provided for residents of the city. And we just wanted to applaud that and encourage that, and make sure that we voiced our opinion on there's a lot of low income, middle income people that can use assistance. I think we all agree that property values in Hagerstown should be increased. Obviously, that would increase your tax revenue. If we can increase tax revenue, then you wouldn't need to increase the property tax rate. So we basically just wanted to applaud that and show our support for it. I thought there might be Janet showing up tonight too, but I guess she decided not to show up. But Elizabethtown East definitely supports that. And that's basically the brief statement that we wanted to make, to show our support.
Well, thanks for representing so well, Colin.
Thank you. I appreciate your all's time and service for the city. I know it's not easy being a city official, and I'm sure you hear it on all sides. So,
It's an honor and a privilege always.
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's it.
Anyone else in the audience like to come up and speak on the FY14 budget? Please come up to the podium so the audience can also benefit from hearing your question.
Oh, I've done this many times, and I wasn't going to do it tonight.
Could you
But I
please
did wanna
introduce
ask the-
yourself for the
Pardon me?
record? Could you?
Diane Eves, Hagerstown.
Thank you.
Wanted to know if there is going to be an increase, will it be constant yield? Will it, or based on making up for the deficit in the assessments, or will it be an actual increased rate?
No, the rate is staying the same. It's not constant yield because if it were constant yield,
Constant yield.
Yeah, it's only
It's almost constant
well, it's
yield.
basically constant yield. But if we were truly doing constant yield, we would actually reduce the rate a fraction of a point to stay at the same level of
Okay,
funding.
but
But there is no proposed change in the tax rate
Right.
for next year.
So, and the following year, have we looked at that yet?
That is a discussion we are going to continue to have when we look at the out years. As I know Councilmember Brubaker has repeatedly said, and other council members, that is when we will face a trickier scenario when we get our triennial reassessments in December. So once we have that data, we will be more informed to make a decision
So
about.
this question would be better after that.
Correct.
as to
And that's
whether
when
it's
we'll
going to-
have the data to be able to have that meaningful discussion.
Right. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Okay. Well, same with the last hearing. The record will remain open until 4 p.m. on Monday, the 20th, for additional comments related to the FY14 budget. And that will conclude the hearing on the FY14 budget. At this time, I would like to open up the hearing on the Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan. Mr. Jonathan Kearns.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The purpose of this public hearing is to give interested citizens and organizations an opportunity to comment on the projects that are proposed in Hagerstown's Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, Draft Annual Action Plan for fiscal year 2014. Along with the CDBG Needs hearing that was held in December of 2012, the public hearing encourages citizen participation in the CDBG planning process and meets the requirement of HUD regulations regarding citizen engagement. Copies of the proposed annual action plan have been available for review since April 20th, 2013, and they can be viewed at the City Clerk's Office, the Department of Community and Economic Development Office, the Washington County Free Library Downtown Branch, or it can be viewed online at www.hagerstownmd.org. Due to the federal budget situation, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has been delayed in providing CDBG grantees final entitlement amounts. The numbers presented here tonight are subject to change until the final entitlement amount is allocated by HUD. The city estimates $1,186,000 in total CDBG expenditures for fiscal year 2014. The sources of this funding include an estimated $600,000 grant from the city's annual CDBG entitlement. This is approximately a 9% reduction from the fiscal year 2013 entitlement and continues the trend of federal budget reductions to the CDBG program. Since fiscal year 2011, the city's entitlement has been reduced by approximately 40%. The city anticipates having $586,000 in CDBG funding from loan repayments, disposition of CDBG home ownership homes, and funds from the previous entitlement. In an effort to focus on neighborhood-based projects, significant portions of CDBG funds are allocated to housing projects and neighborhood projects throughout the city. $460,000, or 39% of the CDBG budget for fiscal year 2014, is proposed for various housing activities. Those activities include city housing rehabilitation programs, emergency repair grant program, CDBG home ownership program, the Commission on Aging home repair grants for seniors program, and H&DP's CPIP down payment assistance program. $250,000, or 21% of the total CDBG budget for FY14, is proposed for multiple neighborhood-based projects, which would include construction of a pocket park in a location to be determined in the west end of Hagerstown, sidewalk accessibility improvements in locations throughout the city, and public facility loans for public facility improvements. CDBG regulations stipulate the amount a community can expend on public services may not exceed 15% of the current year entitlement plus the prior year's program income. The regulatory cap on public services for fiscal year 2014 is estimated to be at $105,000. The proposed fiscal year 2014 CDBG budget takes into account rankings from the Public Service Review Committee, which consisted of 3 Hagerstown residents. Elderly housing, health services to low and moderate income individuals, and activities for children and youth were established as CDBG targeted categories for the Public Service Funding Guidelines. A potential funding scenario for fiscal year 2014 includes funding for organizations meeting these categories. As the final CDBG allocation amount is yet to be determined by Housing and Urban Development, approval of the action plan will be rescheduled to June, and the public record and comment period will be extended until May 30th, 2013, and written comments will be accepted up until that time. This concludes staff comments for this hearing.
Thank you. And did we have anybody sign up to speak for this particular hearing? Nobody signed up. Is there anybody just itching in the audience to come up and speak about the Community Development Block Grant Action Plan? Any council members would like to say anything? Oh, please, Mr. Colin Coleman.
Colin Coleman, downtown
Oh,
resident.
Colin.
I was actually part of the process. I was one of the 3 individuals that was able to provide input for that process. I just wanted to comment that I believe this was the first year that it was done in this fashion, but I wanted to say that the community development employees of the city, Jonathan and Sarah, did a very good job. It was very transparent. Everything seemed to be very fair in how everything was graded and awarded. And I do think that they were carried it out in the right fashion and are moving in the right direction, especially with the recommendations. And it was great that they actually had the downtown or the Hagerstown residents be able to provide their input. So that's basically my statement.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Colin.
Thanks, Colin.
Anyone else? As Mr. Kearns said, the record will remain open until May 30th for comments on the CDBG action plan. And if there are no other comments or questions, we will conclude the hearing on the CDBG action plan. So that is it for our public hearings for the evening. The next thing on our agenda is the introduction of an ordinance. I will entertain this motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move that an ordinance be introduced May 14th, 2013, to establish the city's tax rates for the levy year beginning July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2014, on the basis of 0.788 per $100 of assessed value of all real property and $1.97 per $100 of assessed value of all business personal property within the city of Hagerstown. These rates are the same as the current year.
Motion has been made by Mr. Brubaker,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Metzner. Any discussion?
I'm going to save my discussion for next week.
Okay. All those in favor of the introduction of the ordinance, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next up is the introduction of an ordinance for the budget for fiscal year 2013 to 14.
Mr. Mayor, I hereby move an ordinance be introduced May 14, 2013, to adopt the budget for fiscal year July 1, 2013 through June 30, 2014, in the amount of $133,145,831.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Munson, made by Mr. Metzner, seconded by Mr. Munson. Any discussion?
I would again just note I would have comments next week.
Thank you. Any other council members? Motion made and seconded. All those in favor of the introduction of the ordinance, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Have 3 ayes, 1 nay. Mr. Munson?
We have had a request for money tonight, which would increase this budget by $4,500. And I just want to let the folks know who made that request that this is not the final action. We still have to do this on the 21st, and we can take your interest into consideration.
And we can still entertain changes and modifications by council members as well, so.
And actually, we really wouldn't have to increase the budget. There is a contingency in there. We could use that contingency. So there's
Right.
actually
You're
money in the
absolutely right.
budget right now.
I'm mistaken on that. You're absolutely right. Yes.
All right, next is the introduction of an ordinance amending the city code, section 238-15. I'll entertain that motion at this point. Anybody? Anybody?
Sounds like there might be some requirement for some more discussion on this, is my guess.
I guess so. No one willing to make a motion? We will table it for further discussion at, I guess, our next work session, which will be beginning of June. June 4th. Okay. All right. That brings us to city administrator's comments.
I agree with you.
All right, council comments. Mr. Metzner, I'm gonna start on my right and we'll work our way across. How's that sound?
We're almost done. It's been as everybody recognizes, the budget is not easy, and I commend staff for all their work that they've done on this, and sort of getting the budget done is like coincides with the school year ending. The summer will be here soon. We'll have MML on July 4th and a couple weeks off, and I look forward to next week and congratulate everybody in getting through this.
Thanks. Mr. Brubaker.
I will just say that I hope we get a spring before we get a summer.
We seem to have been getting one so far. Is that it?
That's it tonight.
Mr. Munson?
This is my first budget as a city councilman, and I'd like to thank the staff as well. Michelle, you all have done a great job, and thank you for your efforts and your staff's efforts. We all know that thousands and thousands of hours have gone into this over the year. And I would point out that we've come out with a budget which is balanced, which is required by law, and which does not include a tax increase in the city of Hagerstown. So I think we can say that our staff has done a pretty good piece of work for us. Thank you.
Ms. Nye?
I would like to thank the county for improving Baltimore Street. At least it's starting to look a little bit better, guys, is it not? Has anybody been by except for the two houses? You need to ride by. That's all I can tell you. They've put a lot of money into it that they're probably going to turn around and charge us for it. I just wanted to let you know that 3 of the homes in our area have sold, and they have been upward to $120,000 or more. And if the trend continues on, maybe Hagerstown may be looking at a better assessment than what a lot of us think that couldn't happen. From what I'm being told is that most people now with income that they can actually spend is looking more on what the city has to offer because of the prices being reasonable. And I know 6 months ago, if you were looking for anything, you could have come in a foreclosure and purchased a place for $40,000. So this is a plus. It really is. It's something to really feel good about. Also tonight, Kristen mentioned that we have another bed bug problem. So I hope, John, that you're on that top of this, all of this, because I continue to hear bed bugs and I continue to just go off the wall here, okay? Also, the Alms House, myself and another lady had finished the landscaping on it today. We still have some more to do. If anybody should happen to ride by, they see anything being done, please just call it in and just let us know. Hopefully there will be a camera that will be put up because it does make the block look a lot better. And since we do have a major problem with weeds, and I've asked this before, is there any reason that we cannot go to whomever, Sheriff's Department, down the road to the prisons, to get some prisoner help, to help with this situation? I mean, we got trees that weeds are growing all around them, and I just don't think that myself and my friend can take care of all of this. And I know certainly we do not have staff that can. So if we could at least look into that, because I know years ago it was stated that, you know, these prisoners are here and we can use them. And I just wanted to let this council know that being part of Neighborhoods First, that it was talked about at National Night Out, and usually we do the hot dogs. It was Elizabethtown that usually would do the hot dog rolls. That now has reversed itself, and Mark Meany's group is going to do the rolls. But what we have decided, since the Police Athletic Club has really turned around, is that they are looking at doing this after-school program, and with any of the funds that we have left this fiscal year, that we are donating it to the Police Athletic Club for meals for those kids to have with their after-school programs, as well as Mark Meany is too. So that's 2 of us. I know some of the other groups may be considering doing donations to the dog park, but I did want you to know that that's what we're gonna be doing. And that's it.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that our ride with the mayor got rained out last Saturday, so we're going to be doing it this Saturday, 9 o'clock, Fairgrounds Park. Bring your helmets and bring your bikes, and we're going on a 10-mile ride around the loop around Hagerstown. Hopefully we'll have better weather. If you can't wait till Saturday, the Ride of Silence is this Wednesday night, starting at 7 p.m., same place at the Fairgrounds Park. It's a ride to memorialize those bicycle riders who lost their lives in accidents in the last year.
And Mayor, that will be rain or shine.
Rain or shine. That's the tough group.
Then why didn't you do it this past Saturday?
Because we're not that tough.
We're not that tough. No. I don't make any claims. The ride's gonna take place rain or shine. I didn't say I was gonna ride rain or shine.
Oh,
The other thing I wanted to note was I had the pleasure of speaking with the new class in the City College, formerly known as Neighborhood College. Last evening, they had their first class, if you will, and they'll be meeting over the next 12 months, I believe. About 6 months, I'm sorry. And they'll be learning about every department, every aspect of city government. It's basically Municipal Government 101. It's a great service that we provide not only to city residents, but this year I know we have business owners, folks with various interests in the city of Hagerstown participating in the program, so it certainly lends itself to broader scope and more diversity in the group, and it was a pleasure speaking with them. I do also appreciate the hard work of this council and especially the staff in working on this budget. It's not an easy scenario still to be working within. I think we still have a lot of tough decisions to make, especially regarding major infrastructure projects such as a stadium, how we pay for it. I do think we established at the beginning of our administration that we all feel like it's a worthwhile endeavor. We still have a big question of where we want to make this investment and how we're going to pay for it, but I have every reasonable confidence that we can come to a conclusion on that and give our staff a clear direction on where we want to move with this project. We have a lot of great things in the offing in terms of Invest Hagerstown and continuing to create public-private partnerships, and I look forward to those ongoing conversations. And I would just encourage everybody to stay tuned. And that's it for me. If there aren't any other comments, we will be adjourned. Thank you.